All right, we're going to mess around a little bit with moving a car like a video game and dodging traffic. Dee's talked to me about this one a little bit, and I think it's interesting enough to pursue, and the coding wasn't too bad, so let's take a look. So I have a sprite player. I have a background road. I'll just open it up. It just takes up a full screen. I think I made sure that my room and my background were the same size. I think I went with 800 by 800, but it's tiled so that once it stops, it'll start again at the top. Well, it's basically tiled. We'll say I'm not the world's greatest artist. So over here in room zero, I've done a couple of things. Number one, if we look at the background, we can see that down here where it says tile vertically, that has to be check marked. Tile horizontally doesn't make a difference here. I could take it off and it would still run fine. And right now it has no vertical speed, but we're going to give it some in the program. The other thing I did was bring the snaps down so I could check these values. Notice if I look at my objects, currently if I click this object here, the upper value here on X is 512. And I wanted to trap him on the road, so I brought him over here within one little 8 of that, and that was 176. So you'll see those two numbers show up. So now if I go into the object player, let's see what we're going to do. I don't actually have anything in the create function right now, but in the step function, what we've got in the step function, and I guess I should put this in, is the standard movement up top. So right and left, pretty basic. We could do some other things with them, but for right now, I just made them basic right and left movement. And then this is new here. So X, and this is the 176 and 512 that we just saw. X gets clamped between, and this means what value to clamp. The second part is the low value, and the third part is the high value. And this traps X in that range. And then instead of moving him up and down, I move the background towards us. So speed up is still a keyboard check VK up. So instead of saying up, I wrote speed up instead. And now this shouldn't work unless the background check tiled is, or vertically tiled is clicked. If it is not clicked, the game would be weird. The background would just drop off the screen and you'd be flying in black space. So if the background is vertically tiled, then do the following. This is a nested little loop, and I guess I could move these out here a little bit to show you that this is nested inside, but all this stuff here is nested inside this first if statement. And then that's outside right here, and I can bring this down a row. Okay, so if background is tiled, then if speed up, what this does, and I just had to look this up, background underscore v speed, and this is background index 0, which is the only one I've got in the room right now. This will change the vertical speed, and this actually make the road come at you. And then y minus or equals 3, I'm going to make the player move up the screen. Player moves up the screen. Same thing down here, this background speed here. You'll notice that the background speed was plus equals 1, but I minus equals 2. I just didn't like the way it looked like it braked and accelerated otherwise, so I just played around with these two values. And then down here, a couple of same clamps you got going on. So Y is clamped between two sprites off the bottom and half of the room height. And background V speed is clamped between 0 and 30. And you can play with those numbers to see what you like. But the basic concepts is when we run the game, we get a car that stays on the road. I can move left and right, but I can't get off the road. And if I hit the up arrow, the road starts coming at me and my guy moves up the screen a bit. And then I'd still be dodging cars, which we have to program in. And then if I let go of the up arrow, he decelerates back down and eventually the road stops too. All right, so that's the basic concepts of what we were looking for, and we'll work on putting some, some cars to dodge coming down here, and who knows, maybe a pig walking across the street randomly or something like that. But I think this is a fun little one to pursue, so we'll see what we can do. Thanks.